We're now joined by a political analyst, Dr. Fikile Vilakazi. Dr. Vilakazi, thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. A lot to unpack here, but I want to start here. 2 weekends ago, the ANC disbanded its Western Cape Provincial Executive Committee. And when I spoke to Sfiso Mqweni of the ANC in the Western Cape, he was at pains to insist that it was not a disbandment, but rather just a reconfiguration in what they then appointed was a task team in the provincial task team there, which included, by the way, Neville Delport, who's seemingly now defected. They tried to manage it as though there's not a significant change that's happening, but it's just to strengthen the party. Does this give us signs that the ANC in the Western Cape is so deeply factionalized that it's beyond repair?
Good evening, Oliver, and to viewers at home. I think South Africans would remember that the question of the ANC, particularly in the Western Cape and in other provinces where it is not really functioning, is a subject that confronted us as we're heading towards national elections recently. So what happened 2 weeks ago literally was just showing us that the ANC has become dysfunctional in the province of the Western Cape, similarly as you see in KwaZulu-Natal and in other provinces. So it is not something new, Oliver. I think it's something that has been building up over months, that the ANC is really falling apart in the Western Cape and in other really key municipalities and in provinces like KZN.
Yeah. Let's talk about the DA for a second here, because they had an entire press briefing to welcome these defected members. The DA spent all the time in the Western Cape bastardizing the politics of the ANC and these members who have now defected, and only to welcome them with open arms the minute they defect after their power has been diluted. There's a question about whether or not this defection is one that's sincere or one that's about the dilution of power in that they had faced in the ANC. Is a smart on part of the DA, because it will now welcome these people whose politics they bastardize. Would that the logical conclusion not be that those people are going to contaminate the politics of the DA?
There is a lot of that happening between the Democratic Alliance and the ANC. And I think the smaller parties like your Patriotic Alliance, I would also want to bring in the EFF here. There's a lot of dance that is happening, which if you look at the narrative within the African National Congress is what President Thabo Mbeki would call the infiltration of the ANC. And I think when he does make a reference to that, he talks about those cadres or people who join political parties, not necessarily because they have an interest, in terms of the mandate of the political party, but they, according to his narrative, he calls the people that are being sent literally to spread what he calls a counter-revolution. So we're seeing much of that happening between the ANC and the DA. People may say, in fact, that these members that are starting now to go back to the DA were not in any case having any particular political interest to the African National Congress, but did go there with an agenda of making sure that what Helen Zille actually says does happen, which is the ultimate demise of the ANC, using politicians and those, of course, who are doing this kind of political dance. I mean, even if he says that he's giving up a salary from the ANC to go to the DA, that in itself tells you that this is something about money, it's about enrichment, and it's not a politic of commitment. It's always a politic about greed and where, do they see the money going to 2026 elections, maybe also around 2029, given the challenges that we are seeing in the GNU. So, Oliver, my assertion is that really we are still going to see a lot of people defecting from the ANC. We are going to see a lot of dance also from the DA to the PA, or the PA to the DA. That is going to happen towards 2026 and even towards 2029. It is a GNU issue. That is why there was a secret meeting about the GNU, because it is about saying, within the GNU, as you know, the superpowers is the DA and the ANC. Should the ANC fail and not gain majority, either in provinces or in local government, or at national level in 2029, the DA perhaps should be a default. Because the DA and the ANC, ideologically, they have grown over time to come closer to each other towards the center. And I would want to even say towards more of the center right. So there's very little distinction now that citizens are able to make, and politicians are playing into that. So some people are even saying that if you vote the ANC, you automatically vote the DA. So we are going into that place, and we are going to see all of that dance. Whether it is political play, or it is genuine, or it is just desperation, is, it's something that we'll have to see with time. But that is something that I see is happening in the Western Cape. There is no political, ideological commitment to what is happening currently.
Yeah, we're going to have to leave it there. Dr. Fikile Vilakazi, thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. Dr. Vilakazi is a political analyst.